if I had a camera crew that would just be spliced in. Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am PJ. Today I want to talk about two military concepts, if you will, that I think you can grab onto, chew the meat, spit out the bones, take what you can use and discard the rest. I think they'll be useful to you. Let's get out of this gear. Oofda. I'm doing this for a reason. All right. I talked the other day and in the past, and many of you are familiar with the concept of line 1, 2, and 3 gear. And basically, in a nutshell, line 1 gear is what we call, the preppers, EDC, everyday carry. And, it depends on who you are, what your group standards are, what your personal standards are, that kind of thing. But it's the things that you keep on your body all the time. Now, in a military context, that's called line 1 gear, and it typically comprises of survival items. Things like a knife, a lighter, a signal mirror, a compass, things like that, so that if I have nothing else but my line 1 gear, coffee. I forgot to bring my coffee. Oh, it's going to be a long video. I just made a cup too. I'm jonesing, man. If we find ourselves with just this, or if we have to ditch our other stuff and run, at least we can survive. You decide what your EDC is. There's 1,000 million videos out there on EDC, but that is line 1 gear, things you keep on your body. Then line 2 gear is typically your combat harness. Now, where does the rifle fit? The rifle fits in, for most soldiers, line 1 gear. If you're starting to already put this into your own context, you're probably going to put it with line 2 gear. Again, there's nothing hard and fast. You just have to take what you can use and morph it to your own situation. But line 2 gear is your combat harness. Whether that's a chest rig or a suspender rig or your plate carrier with way too much gewgaws on it. And this is the stuff that is going to allow you to fight. Typically, it has 3 things on it: ammo, water, and first aid. Are there other things? Sure. But generally speaking, line 2 gear is to carry water, ammo, and first aid, right? Again, yes, you can put other things on it, but that's line 2 gear, your fighting load. And then line 3 is your rucksack, right? And that's your sustainment load, if you will. It has things like your sleeping bag, your radio, your big army radio, food, gear, camo net, shovel, whatever. It's all that stuff that you're not necessarily going to fight in, but stuff you need to get to the fight. Okay, so that's your rucksack. That's line 1, 2, and 3. What kind of rucksack is that, Pastor Joe? This is an awesome rucksack that you're going to be hearing more about later, not in this video. It's made by an Australian company called Crossfire, and I've used a lot of rucks in my day, and I'm liking this one so far. I'm going to actually start rucking with it to see how I like it under heavy load and moving through this stuff. But that, Crossfire. Go look them up. Crossfire.com. Okay, so line 1, line 2, combat harness, line 3, rucksack. That's a concept that you can apply to yourself. How do you apply that to yourself? You have your EDC carry, whatever that is. I always have my keys and my lighter. Okay. Your line 2, it varies by what you're doing, but it could be like your day pack, your computer bag. I don't know what men carry to the office anymore. Your briefcase, your satchel, your mirth, whatever. And line 3 gear would probably be your bug out bag, right? And so that kind of concept. Does it change? Sure. If all of a sudden things go sideways and there's zombies running around out there, I may modify what I call my line 1, 2, and 3 gear. You may modify how you carry it. When I was in Special Forces, we never took off our line 2 gear once we were operational. Once we were in the field, we never took this off. It didn't come off. We slept in it. Having line 1 gear, when you always wear your line 2 gear, is pure emergency. We're being chased. I got hung up in a tree. I get out of that stuff and keep running. At least I have certain things on me. So that's something you can think about. Another concept comes from Special Operations Medicine. Those stalwart men who are at the cutting edge of emergency medical technology and tactics and procedures. They invented TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, which is constantly evolving. They made the use of the tourniquet a popular thing now, brought it back. The CAT tourniquet came out of that program by various means. And they have another concept that they use for what they call prolonged field care, something that's worth your while doing a dive on and studying. And prolonged field care, see, what happened with the military was, because we rule, we had kind of a rule that from the point of injury, casualty, Bob just got shot, until he's in surgery, forward surgery hospital, 1 hour. The golden hour, we want him in surgery. Okay, that's good when you're fighting a bunch of guys running around with AKs and man dresses. And how did we do in that fight? Anyway, that's fine when you're fighting people like that. We rule the skies. We can get choppers in and out, and they're in the hospital, no problem. And the hospital's totally protected inside a big happy fob, right? That might not be the case when we fight the Chinese or the Russians. And people in the Special Operations medical community know that. And so they're starting to get into what they call prolonged field care, PFC. And it's, hey, this guy's injured. And normally we would put him on a helicopter and send him away to surgery, but we can't right now. He's ours, perhaps for several days. We need to keep him alive. What do we need to do? Ooh, skills, equipment, sets, more than, my blowout kit that'll keep him alive till the chopper gets here, right? And so they came up with this concept that is now being applied to other things in the SOF community, and it is Ruck, Truck, House. So whereas line 3 is on person, on harness, in Ruck, the Ruck, Truck, House concept starts with your Ruck. Now your Ruck presupposes your combat harness and what's on you personally, right? Your Ruck encompasses lines 1, 2, and 3. It's your personal stuff. Truck is the vehicle. Now, these latest 2 conflicts that we fought, we rode to war in trucks a lot, right? And so you can have this stuff on you. We're going to have more stuff in the truck, and we're going to have even more stuff at the safe house or at the team house, or our forward isolated base, if you will. It's not a fob. It doesn't have security and all that stuff. It's just like a place, like a hard structure, like, double H right there. And so it's Ruck, Truck, House. Well, how can you apply that concept? You have to understand that the things in the rucksack, work with me here, are designed to keep the patient alive from a medical standpoint for that hour, right? Until we can get them on a bird and get them out of here. And so up until then, we've got all this cool stuff. That's where you saw Black Hawk Down, the stretcher, you can put the guy on it and carry him there, whatever. That's in the Ruck, right? The blowout kits, the bare IFAC, that's right here, or whatever. Sure, that's good. What if we have to keep this guy alive for the next few days? Well, then we go to the truck. And in the truck, we've got the boxes and the soft bags, the big, huge trauma kits that are too big to carry in our rucksack on our person with everything else we're carrying. So it is supplemental. it's additional stuff. It could be more of the same. We developed back in the early days of Afghanistan and Iraq, and you can now find them everywhere, made in China, the seat back covers with MOLLE webbing on it. And the reason for that was you could strap ammo, first aid, radio, flares, grenades, whatever, all over the back of the seat. So I've got this stuff on me when I'm doing the deed. I need resupply. I just go to the truck and resupply, and I can continue doing what I'm doing. The truck is right around the corner. It's a block away. It's out in the parking lot where you work. Oh, see, a lot of people have the stuff they wear and carry every day, their EDC Line 1 gear. They have their bag that they bring into work. That's their Line 2 gear, if you will. And then they have their Get Me Home bag out in their truck. Well, also in your truck, you could have a duffel bag full of different clothing. You could have, a case of Mountain House food. You could have a robust first aid kit, the EMT size first aid kit that you don't want to bring into the office because everybody will think you're weird, but you got it right there. You just run out, get it, and run back. That's the truck, right? And so we think about things like that. What's in your truck? How much stuff do you have in your truck? Does it complement, does it supplement your normal prepper supplies that you have on and about your person? And then number 3 is the house. And the house, again, is a team house, a safe house, that kind of thing. And yeah, we can have more stuff in there. We can have a microscope in there if we need to. We can have the big medical tack set, which is in Special Forces, this is a huge medical kit that you're not carrying anywhere. That has just all kinds of interesting stuff in it. Well, what's in your house? Do you have stuff to supplement your EDC, your Bob Get Me Home bag, that stuff, and then more? I suspect you do, but I wonder if you've thought about it in those ways. Have you thought about it that if we bug out and I'm living in the red cabin, okay, I'm showing up with my Ruck and my truck, do I already have stuff pre-positioned in the house? Right? Because by the time I get there, having driven or walked or whatever I had to do to get there, I'm going to deplete the supplies that I brought with me, maybe even in my truck. I've depleted those supplies. Do I have a resupply in the house? The whole concept is layering, right? And layering gives you options. It gives you the ability to replenish, to resupply, to deal with different problems, more serious problems that you weren't, nobody's going to be kicking down doors with a microscope lab set on their back. Actually, I could probably come up with a scenario where they are going to do that. But generally speaking, nobody's going to do that, right? Generally speaking, no one's kicking down a door and having a bedpan in their in their rucksack. Not going to happen. But having one in the house for long-term care might be useful. Maybe at the house you were prepared to run village clinic and you had all kinds of neat things in there that now we can use to treat Bob, who needs it. Okay, well, that was all mostly medical type stuff, but and I kind of touched on ammo resupply from the back seat of the car. Okay, ammo, fighting, weapons, medical. What else? What else you got? Everything can come in layers. Firefighting, food, shelter. Your shelter is the clothing you're wearing. That's your number one shelter. It's, I can go sleep in the bushes with what I have on, let's say. Right now I'm wearing all cotton, and cotton kills. But you have that. Then you have in your rucksack, maybe you have your, maybe on your LCE you have a poncho or a tarp that you could make a little hooch out of. And then in your rucksack, maybe you have a tent. I don't know, work with me here. And then you have your house where you have more stuff. Maybe you have construction supplies to build more shelter. Fuel. Do you carry extra fuel in your vehicle? Do you at least carry an empty fuel canister can so you can go get some, and a siphon hose in your truck so you can get somewhere? Do you have extra fuel at your house, should you need it? That kind of thing. Layering allows you to sustain yourself when things go sideways, allows you to take care of problems that were bigger than you were expecting, and gives you options. So think about that. Think about your own layering, and I know some of you have concepts that I have not thought about yet. All right. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you out there.